Anyway, so Worlds Collide, Mega Man and Sonic crossover. I personally just love crossovers. They have always been like my favorite stories to read, like with fan fiction or anything. And having an official crossover is really can be an interesting experience. It can be either really great or really stupid.
So my background when it comes to, I guess, Sonic and Mega Man crossovers, Flash games, particularly, and I know a little bit about the Sonic Boom Mega Man crossover, and everybody seems to hate Sonic Boom, so we're not going to go into that right now.
Sonic Boom is a whole can of worms unto itself that we don't need to go into right now.
We'll probably get stuck with it eventually, but let's ignore it for now, and I guess we'll get into Worlds Collide. So how many issues is this event?
It was 12 issues spanning, 4 different series. You had, the regular Sonics, you had Mega Man, and you had Sonic Universe. So I guess that's just 3, but, so 4 issues in 3 of each of those series. And so you basically had, 3 issues a month or something. But
3 issues a month, wow, that's really fast for a comic book event.
I know, but again, because each of those issues were technically different series.
There was a Spider-Man event that actually lasted a couple years. Can't remember what it's called. The Clone Saga. I think that's what it's called.
But the hype for it was really huge. They were advertising it months and almost a year in advance. And I had to, of course, read all the Mega Man comics to catch up to what was going to happen in the Sonic event. And so I was super hyped for it. And so when it first starts, the first page is actually Sonic and Mega Man fighting. You're like, what's going on?
The traditional Sonic beginning on what the crap is going on. Sonic's dead. He's not dead. They're killing him off. Who knows? He's fighting someone random. Why? No clue.
Yeah. So you see Sonic and Mega Man fighting, and they're being watched by what looks like roboticized Tails, which from the previous issues is the thing. Basically, Robotnik or Eggman has the ability to turn creatures into robots. Sometimes he has the ability, sometimes not, depending on alien and magic and chaos energy.
Okay, so roboticized Tails is either he somehow brainwashed him with robotic stuff, which we've seen a couple times in the video game.
It's literally turned into a robot.
I was going to ask, so he's turned into a robot, or is it the case with Metal Sonic, so it's Metal Tails?
No, this roboticized usually means literally turned into a robot.
Okay, so what he does with birds and squirrels and rabbits and
well,
stuff.
That's not quite the same, because that one, they're just powering the robot and can break the metal shell, whereas with roboticized, if you destroy the robot, you kill the person.
Okay, I see. A little bit darker.
Yeah. Yeah, the Sonic the Hedgehog comics can get dark very quickly. Anyway, so, and the Tails, roboticized Tails is, spying on them, and you see Mega Man and Dr. Wily celebrating the fact that their arch enemies are beating the crap out of each other.
Okay, I'm getting a kind of a cliche here with kind of Batman versus Superman kind of fight here. I'm also thinking, I may be the only one thinking this, but I'm also thinking of the Aladdin Hercules crossover.
I don't know, I've never seen that. And this obviously came out long before Batman versus Superman. Anyway,
at least we're quiet during that
yeah.
little thing, so if it appears, it'll be fine. Okay.
Anyway, so, basically that whole intro sequence to get you curious about, why is this happening, and then it flashes back to how they met, which was Chaos Emerald during one of Eggman's previous fights with Sonic ended up in Mega Man's world and is found by one of Dr. Wily's robots.
Okay, quick question though. Okay, yeah. So Chaos Emerald went to another world, and there's multiple Sonic worlds because you have the classic Sonic world, you have modern Sonic, and the Sonic Boom verse, etc. What could you get Chaos Emeralds from other dimensions? Would that work?
Yeah, technically. If you think about Blaze, she has the Soul Emeralds, which are basically her world's version of the Chaos Emeralds. They're just more fire-based than anything else.
Okay, it's just that people just theorize with the Infinity Stones and Marvel, just like
That they're their version of the Chaos Emeralds or something.
it kind of is, to be fair.
It kind of is. That's true. I mean, technically it works, and I kind of headcanon that there is a version of Chaos Emeralds in every world.
And well, except for Boom. But anyway,
I know, except for which I have a real problem with, but I'm not going to.
So the Marvel Universe, just FYI, apparently you can't just grab different gems or the soul, like you can't get the Infinity Gems or Infinity Stones or whatever they're called from another dimension and bring it to your dimension to use it there. And there's only 7 like each dimension unless some other given role applies, and you can't use them there. So I was just wondering if there's any purpose to the Chaos Emeralds jumping dimension. Like, could you actually end up 14 by combining the classic Sonic and modern Sonic's Chaos Emeralds together?
Theoretically, you probably could.
And it doesn't like Sonic the Fighters have 8?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, on with the story.
Yeah, so, it jumps back to Wily finding the Chaos Emerald, and he starts messing with it, and ends up hacking into Eggman's broadcast in his own world, because, dimensional energies, whatever, and he's like,
Scientific, multidimensional mumbo jumbo.
Exactly. So Eggman's like, who are you and why did you hack this speed? And, as they're talking, Eggman quickly figures out that Wily's from a different world entirely. He's like, oh, you're from a different dimension. And this is your first time messing with dimensions, isn't it? Let me explain how things work.
I have plenty of experience in other dimensions.
Actually, he really does, because at this point, the Eggman that is in this comic world was originally from a different dimension himself, because Sonic had defeated his original Eggman completely. Like, he had died at some point.
So they killed Eggman off, brought him back because explanation from another dimension. Got it.
Yeah, different dimension. He was from a dimension where Eggman had conquered the world, and so he's bored and was like, since
let's go conquer another dimension.
Yeah, pretty much. When he found out this other Eggman had been defeated, he's like, he will go continue his work or be better than him or whatever. And it's like, so you get another Eggman that way.
Classic comic book trope, I feel like.
Probably, but yeah, so he has plenty of experience with other dimensions, considering he is from another dimension. They have many multiple dimension traveling, hopping characters, and so he explains the basics to Dr. Wily. They come up with the idea that they should work together to destroy both, or to conquer both worlds, because they have so much in common with each other.
We both like robots. I'm just picturing them now, just like, we have so much in common. It's just like, we both like robots. We both have our mustaches.
They actually kind of have a conversation similar to that, but it's more like, we both want to bring a better view to technological advancement to the world, and no one appreciates it.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Exactly.
You're preaching to the choir here.
So, under Eggman's direction, Dr. Wily and Eggman are able to make a dimensional pocket between their two dimensions.
Like you do.
Yeah, using the Chaos Emerald's energy. And they, use materials from both the worlds to set up a, base in this pocket dimension, and are just, playing stuff, and then they start gathering emeralds, and once... I'm
just picturing them building this pocket dimension. It's just like, we know we need parts from the Green Hill Stone. We need some parts of the chemical plants. I don't know any of the biomes of Mega Man. I never played the game, so I'm sorry. I will try to get to them eventually.
Technically, I've never played the games either. I've only read those comics.
I don't know how the worlds separate. Either way, they all look the same to me, or less, like just slightly different colors.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mega Man fans. I'm a noob.
So, but once they got a base set up in this pocket dimension, they unleashed what they call a Genesis Wave, which Eggman actually used before on his own world, which basically rewrites the history of the world, so to suit their needs, though it's not very strong yet because they didn't have all the Chaos Emeralds yet. This was basically part 1. And
so it's a reset button on a game console.
Yeah. Basically, so it changes it doesn't really change Mega Man's world so much, except skip it a few years into the future. But Sonic gets rewritten to be more like the games rather than the comics it was.
Just so it's more recognizable by the Mega Man fans, probably.
Probably.
And then soon everything will be reversed after the end of it, right?
Kind of. We'll get to that later. Anyway, so the world's been rewritten. And then it jumps to like Mega Man's world. Their life's continuing as on. Proto Man's patrolling the city.
Life goes on.
And there's a robbery in progress that he goes to do, and you find out that Eggman and Wily have captured a lot of Sonic's friends and have roboticized them to be roboticized masters.
Okay, question.
Yeah.
Who in particular? You said Tails.
Tails was the first one. He's the one that they kind of say, we're going to turn you into a robot to do our bidding across multiple dimensions. And Tails is like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, I'll go along with it for now, just because.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So he's turned into a robot master and sent to get other people's. And so the first ones that Pro Man starts fighting is Amy, Knuckles, Tails, I believe, was one as well, and Shadow.
Okay. Basically, all the Sonic friends. Minus Big.
Not yet. Actually, Big never does show up.
There's a reason.
Well, technically, yes, there's one little camo pot shot in one of the panels later on, but you don't really care about him.
Well, just like with Sonic X, you just see him at the very beginning, and then he pops up later on. And in my opinion, that's the worst episode.
Yeah.
Froggy.
Yeah, I hate Big. He's my least favorite
He's
character.
a cat version of Barney.
Yeah. Anyway.
Except he's played by Duke Nukem or something like that. I don't know.
So Pro Man's very confused about what these roboticized masters are because, never seen anything like them. And they're, really strong because, when you're roboticized, all your natural talents are enhanced. And so, the Sonic characters are pretty strong to begin with.
Okay, so Tails, for example, his special ability is flying, so he can fly even better now.
Yeah, and he's got tornado attacks.
Okay. Knuckles, he's good at punching, so he can punch even better now.
Yeah.
Shadow.
He's got chaos energy stuff.
Okay, I was gonna say, he has a gun, so he has a better gun now. Do they need to roboticize him? Amy, she has a hammer.
Now she has two hammers because both her hands are hammers now.
Okay.
She doesn't have regular hands, just hammers.
I was gonna say, does she have a bigger hammer? Or?
No, two hammers and no hands, just hammers. Anyway, so they start fighting. Mega Man and hears about this fight going on, goes to help his, sort of brother, which is Proto Man / Blues or whatever. And while he's going there to the fight, you skipped over to Sonic's world, and he's running around Green Hill Zone trying to figure out where all his friends have been. Because, he was supposed to go off adventuring with Tails, but since, he was missing, and he starts looking for all his other friends, and they're all missing. And he's like, what is going on?
Hey, Big or Froggy or whoever else is left in the Green Hill Zone. Have you seen Tails anywhere?
Actually, he goes to the Team Chaotix, the detective ones, the Crocodile, Vector, Espio, the Chameleon, and Charmy, the Bee. He says, help me look for my friends, and sends them off into the city while he's searching Green Hill Zone. And so it actually flashes over to the Team Chaotix, and they get taken out by, they get captured by some of Dr. Eggman and Wily's robots. And so, and then it flashes back to Sonic, and Silver actually shows up because he sensed that there's something wrong with the timeline.
Okay, so when did this comic come out? Because Silver is 06.
I know, but the comic's been around for a long time. During this series...
Well, I'm just wondering, when did this comic come out, roughly?
I don't know. I never looked up the exact date.
So, presumably after 2006, because Silver's debut.
Oh, it's the Worlds Collide comic, or
yeah.
in general? Worlds Collide, let's see. It came out about 4 years ago. I was in my first semester of college when it happened.
Okay, so it's pretty recent.
Yeah, pretty recent in the whole thing of Sonic. Because,
Is this the first Mega Man Sonic crossover that you know of, or?
That I particularly know of, yes. Though they did do a second one in the series later down the line as well.
I know Boom has one, but...
Well, technically, Boom was part of this giant crossover. Anyway, so yeah, Silver shows up. He's like, something's wrong with the time-space continuum at this point. And he's like, yeah, I figured Dr. Eggman's doing something. And while they're talking, Silver gets sniped by a Mega Man looking robot called Copy Robot. So creative. But like, Sonic doesn't know that. That it's Copy Robot. So he just...
Do you know the world's name of Mega Man? What it's called?
No.
Okay. I was wanting to make an American Sniper joke.
I think it's just called Earth, actually, whereas Sonic's world is Mobius.
Mega Sniper. I wanted to make a joke, but I didn't know the world's name, so this joke completely bombed.
Anyway, so Sonic gets, not Sonic, Silver gets teleported away by the Copy Robot, which looks exactly like Mega Man. And so Sonic's like, hey, you're the one kidnapping my friends, aren't you? And so
Yes, I am.
pretty much he does say that, because, he's evil and all that.
Come catch me if you can.
Exactly. He starts running off, and Sonic's chasing after him. And in the meantime, when Mega Man had, joined the fight against these robot-sized masters, and they were escaping through a warp ring into Sonic's world, specifically the Green Hill Zone, and as, he was going after him, Metal Sonic, moving super fast that that Mega Man sees is a blue bird, tackles into him a couple of times to get him mad, and so he follows them through this ring into the Green Hill Zone, and while they're and so Copy Robot and Metal Sonic are hurting the real Sonic and Mega Man to each other before, getting out of sight through, the different paths and stuff, and so, they're on the hunt for each other, and Sonic finds Mega Man first, and spin dashes him. And
Cue sound effect.
Yep. And then they start fighting, and so you come full circle to where it started.
I thought you were gonna say it's full on.
Yeah, and it is full on because it's interesting. Apparently Mega Man has this thing where he can't hurt organic life forms, and so he is confused because his readings say that Sonic's alive, which he is, but he's like, but nothing alive moves that fast. My scanners must have been busted in that hit I got, and so it's
convenient, ain't it?
Yep. And so yeah, so they're fighting. Sonic's doing his usual thing with bantering and trying to.
If Dr. Wily was smart, probably what he would do is just try to kidnap Mega Man and reprogram him.
He actually did do that in the comics, but then, Dr. Light, Mega Man's creator, was able to upload an antivirus and reprogram back to normal. Although they never got this far in the comics, but I've also heard that Wily from the past went to the I guess technically the present, went to the future, kidnapped that Mega Man, brought him back to the past, and had him reprogram, and then sicked him on regular Mega Man. And I don't remember what this reprogram Mega Man was called, but...
when it comes to sci-fi stories like this, when as soon as you hit time travel, I'm lost.
Yeah. Doesn't really matter for this story anyway. So...
At least with Back to the Future, things happen slowly there.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
So as they fight, there's a brief pause where they're both considering how tough each of their opponents is, and that they're worried that they're not gonna win. But then Sonic's nah, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, I can do this. He's I just gotta fight smarter, and so he starts using Emerald Hill Zone to his advantage, and it's just starting to
Emerald Hill Zone or
Green Hill Zone, yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure we were in the same place.
Green Hill Zone starts using it to his advantage, bouncing off of springs, going through loops, and just being able to use his speed to outmaneuver Mega
Sonic's
Man.
on his home turf. So.
Exactly. And in the meantime, Dr. Light has been trying to figure out how to bring Mega Man back and figured out how to open up the warp ring again. And so that opens in the middle of the fight, and Mega Man recognizes it as the way home, so he kind of leads Sonic to it, and they...
So now Mega Man has the home advantage.
Yeah, they both go into the portal, and Mega Man's able to summon. He's able to summon allies that help him get repaired and boost his energy again and outnumber Sonic. And it's like, so Sonic does try and put up a big fight, but he is, again, no longer on his home turf. But while
there's no springs anywhere for him. There's just randomly placed. There's no loops or anything anymore.
I know. But while he's like running through the street, Mega Man hesitates because he doesn't want to hurt any civilians, in the traffic. And so he's like, "Look, just give us back the Chaos Emerald your friends stole from the bank, and you'll be good." And Sonic's like, "What are you talking about? You kidnapped my friends."
Okay, we got a misunderstanding here. Let's sit down and talk and work this thing out.
That's what they were probably going to do, but Eggman and Dr. Wily have been watching this whole thing. They're like, no, they're talking. We can't have that. So they tell Tailsman, which is the roboticized Tails, to attack them before they have a chance to,
attack Sonic, not...
No, attack both of them.
Okay, the thing is, you could pose Tails as Mega Man, part of Mega Man's team, to Sonic, and so Sonic thinks that he would turn Tails. That Mega Man turned Tails, and so now they could actually, and then at that point, I think Sonic would just have blind anger and just go after Mega Man that way.
Probably, but they just have him attack both. And, since he's using tornadoes, all those cars are, flying around. And Sonic and Mega Man start working together to save all the civilians. And then... And
now they both know that each other are good.
Sort of. Sonic is less trusting at first than Mega Man. Simply because, Sonic literally saw an exact duplicate of Mega Man kidnap Silver. So, but he's willing to, go for it as long as they work together. And it turns out their combined attacks creates a dimensional energy that undoes the roboticization process because convenience.
Why not?
And so Tails is able to return to normal, and Mega Man gets a power upgrade because of it.
Like he does constantly.
Exactly. And so with Tails to return to normal, he's able to help clarify things. Hey,
both you guys as villains have teamed up together to try to get each other to kill each other, like you do.
Yeah. So so Sonic and Mega Man talk things out. Everything's good, and Sonic's like, "Cool, let's move on. Go save all the rest of my friends." And Mega Man's like, "Wait, what? Really? That's it? I just tried to kill you, and you're fine with it?" And he's like, "It's in the past. Let's just move on."
See, this is how much better I knew. I don't hold a grudge, even after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's how much cooler I am than
And Tails has to be like, "It's alright, he's exhausting, just roll with it." Yeah. And so they go to Dr. Light's lab, only to find out Dr. Light's been kidnapped by Dr. Wily and Eggman. Because, they didn't like the fact that he had opened a warp ring for Mega Man. And so, Mega Man's all freaking out because his dad was kidnapped, but Sonic's like, "Just chill out. Let Tails figure out how to get to this other dimension."
Tails got this.
Exactly.
I mean, just to sit down and hang out.
Exactly. He was just lying on one of the random desks and just hanging out while he waited for Tails to do his stuff.
Sonic X style.
Yep. So eventually, Tails does open up a portal to this pocket dimension, which is called the Skull Egg Zone.
Okay, the Skull Egg Zone.
Yep.
How original.
Well, they had to combine names because neither of them could agree to call it one or the other. Yeah, so they go into that and start start exploring. Well, of course, Eggman and Dr. Wily find out that they're here and send out all the roboticized masters after them. And first they send some of just Dr. Wily's robots after them, and they're fighting and are able to take him out. Oh, and they fight Copy Robot and able to destroy him using the Tails upgrade for Mega Man.
I'm sorry, but when you say Copybot and just kind of knowing the Mega Man villains usually, I'm just picturing this robot being a copying machine.
That would actually be really funny.
That's honestly what I'm picturing when it comes every time you say it. But then I was like, okay, it must be like a clone of Mega Man or something like that. So
yeah. And in the meantime, Dr. Wily and Eggman are like their friendly partnership is getting a little strained. And
you keep failing me. You have failed me for the last time.
Not quite that extreme yet. They're like trying to decide who's the better villain, and so they come up with this brilliant idea.
I'm the better villain. No, I'm the better villain.
They come up with the idea that whoever's arch enemy lasts the longest means that
they're the better villain.
Exactly. And
meanwhile, what they could do is just have Eggman plan a trap for Mega Man, and then Dr. Wily plans a trap for Sonic, and see how that works out.
Yeah, but
maybe I'm an idiot. So.
But they instead they decide to send like all the robot masters after them and say we're gonna have a contest, and
all the robots.
It's like we're gonna see who's the best, basically. And Proto Man, who had come with Mega Man, Sonic, and Tails, was like, I'm out of here. This is stupid.
See ya.
So he goes off to try and rescue Dr. Light, and they send some robot masters after him because he's like, we can't just let him walk off like that.
Well, why not?
And so, Mega Man, Sonic, and Tails end up fighting basically the roboticized Team Chaotix, and they're struggling for a long time till they figure out, because they don't want to destroy them because they are Sonic's friends, and until they figure out a way to have Tails reprogram Mega Man's blaster to mimic Sonic's spin dash, which basically reverts the roboticization process.
Okay, that doesn't add up to me, but okay, let's go with that.
Yeah, it's a bunch of scientific mumble jumble, and like Tails.
Okay,
like,
how do you turn a gun into a Sonic spin dash?
Yeah, he's just kind of making it. In fact, Tails admits that he's just kind of making it up as he goes, because he's trying to figure out how Mega Man's blaster works as he's reprogramming it.
But how does he? I don't see how it's comic books.
Yeah. So they're able to, save Team Chaotix, and they send them after Proto Man just to, be backup for him. Mega Man, Sonic, and Tails just keep going through the things. They end up fighting more. They basically are hunting down the other roboticized masters, the rest of Sonic's friends, and, slowly turn them back one by one. In the meantime, though, on the Wily Egg, which is, Death Egg, Wily Fortress combined. Yeah.
Just sigh.
Yeah, the naming things are ridiculous. Rouge had been able to get in contact with Dr. Light because she's a spy and stuff. Had gone to his jail cell and asked for his information for places where she could go sabotage stuff. And so she's been, going through and causing chaos on the Wily Egg while Dr. Eggman and Wily are starting to plan to backstab each other because they can tell.
They're both villains. It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
One villain can only suck up to the other villain for so long, and they can only be equals for so long.
Yeah.
It's just villain nature.
Especially once they find out that all of Sonic's friends have been returned to normal and that they're basically recruiting everyone to bring him back. Oh, I forgot one little detail. When they bring Shadow back, he doesn't stick around to help at first. He just kind of teleports away because he's like, I want revenge.
Oh, I want revenge.
And when he teleports away, it causes this, ripple effect in this pocket dimension that affects everyone's memories and lets them know that the world was rewritten once already. And Sonic recognizes it because, again, it happened to his own world already once. It's like...
Okay. Hey, I've all seen this before. Somebody hit the reset button again, didn't they?
Yep. And
I want to do I want to be able to start doing impersonation of like all the Sonic characters. It'd be so funny. I feel like it'd be kind of fun.
yeah. So they.
I'm the coolest. Shadow.
Yeah. Yeah. So they know that the world needs to be fixed as well, and they gather all their allies to the base of the teleporting pad that would help them get onto the Wily egg, and.
Is it a giant spring?
No, it's literally a teleporting pad.
Okay.
And it's password protected, and I can't figure it.
Let me guess, Dr. Wily.
And so, you got all the Sonic's allies and several of Mega Man's as well, fighting all of Dr. Wily's robot villains from like years and years.
The several years that Mega Man have been a thing.
Yes, and so you get this giant battle with everyone fighting each other. You got Espio fighting the ninja villain. It's really funny, and they even bow to each other before they start fighting.
Namaste.
Yeah, and like you have Sonic racing Quickman through the battlefield while Sonic's like destroying every other robot he comes across before finally destroying Quickman, and it's like
spin dash, spin dash, spin dash, spin dash, spin dash.
And things like that, and it's just going back and forth, but they're not making any progress because the way that they manipulate this pocket dimension means that they can just summon these evil masters over and over again. Like even if you destroy them, they'll just come back again. It's like,
come back, but this time even stronger.
Yeah, and it's like getting ridiculous. So like Mega Man, Sonic, and Tails.
I was thinking Sonic probably like, can we just end this thing and go home already?
Are discussing how they're going to get into the Wily egg. In the meantime, Dr. Eggman figured out that Dr. Light helped Rouge and is really mad about it. That he throws him literally out of the Death Egg.
And off into the cold vacuum of space.
No, they're not in space, but they're over a giant pit, which is where this battle's taking place.
I thought they were on the Death Egg.
They are, but they're not in space. They're still in this pocket dimension, which apparently doesn't have space.
Sorry about my phone there. I'll edit that out.
Anyway, so he's falling to his death, and Mega Man sees Dr. Light falling to his death, is like trying to get to him, but no one can get to him in time, so you think he's gonna die, but then Shadow just teleports, grabs him, teleports back to safety. It's like...
Because I'm the coolest.
Exactly. And so, with Dr. Light's help, they're able to push back the Robot Masters long enough to hack the teleporting pad and get Mega Man, Sonic, and Tails into the Wily egg. And so they start going through fighting villains, and during one fight, Tails gets super injured and is sent back down to the others. And then Sonic and Mega Man go to end up fighting Metal Sonic and Bass, which is basically,
I have no clue who Bass is, so explain.
He, from what I can tell, is Dr. Wily's attempt of making Mega Man for himself, like his version of Mega Man. Basically, it's the equivalent of Metal Sonic to Sonic is Bass to Mega Man. It's supposed to be a better, stronger version of the original thing.
Bigger, badder, stronger, faster, dumber.
More goth-looking. More goth-looking.
More gothic.
Exactly.
More goth. Just not
and so,
gothic.
they're trying to fight these two, and it's really hard because, even on a normal day, that these two villains are super strong. And so, at one point, they try switching opponents, but that doesn't work. It only really works when they start working together, really together, and Mega Man's, switching through all the power-ups he's gotten from all of Sonic's friends. And they're finally able to overwhelm those two, and just when you think that they won, Eggman and Wily crash in with the giant robot and hit them with the giant laser and knock them out. Because...
timing!
Exactly. So then you get a flash a little forward to them waking up in captured pods. And you get the evil monologue.
Start doing the hand rubbing thing. They're putting lotion on or whatever.
Basically, Dr. Wily and Dr. Eggman have gathered all the Chaos Emeralds and tend to use and have been like charging up this giant beam where they're literally gonna rewrite all the worlds this time permanently and as they want it themselves.
We'll rewrite the world in our image.
Pretty much they declare that they're gonna become gods type thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And so, of course, Sonic makes a witty comment about that, and I don't remember exactly what it says, but...
oh, you guys.
In the meantime, Dr. Light figures that something's going on, and, the allies come in to help, and they're able to break through to this, the Chaos Chamber, and free Sonic and Mega Man, and give Mega Man super upgrade. Basically what he does is he merges with Rush, which is a robot dog, into this super form.
Oh wait, why would you name a robot dog Rush? I would have called it K9.
I don't know, probably that name was already taken by something.
Doctor Who.
Anyway. Hey. But yeah, so he gets it into that form, and then, while the others distract Wily and Eggman, Mega Man and Sonic go to the Chaos Emeralds and, go Super Sonic and Super Mega Man. And so you got them fighting their Eggman and Wily's final robot, and it's big, it's epic, and it ends up in space somehow. I don't remember exactly.
Come on, you gotta have your final battle in space. It has to be Star Wars, you know that.
And it doesn't help that Wily and Eggman had sabotaged each other's sections of the robots because they, were backstabbing each other.
And so they are their own self-destruction.
Yeah. And so they are all fighting and eventually able to destroy the giant robot as they do. And Sonic starts instructing Mega Man on how to use Chaos Control to reset the universe into as everything as it's supposed to be. And Dr. Wily's kind of just giving up at this point.
I'm done, you guys. I'm going home. I'm tired.
He's like, well, we tried. Now the universe is going to go back to normal. But Eggman's like, no, this is not it for me. And so he flies his part of the ship and rams into Sonic. And Mega Man's worried. He's like, Sonic's like, no, worry about your own world. Save your own world. I'll be fine.
I've survived worse.
So, so Mega Man is able to use the Chaos Emerald to reset his world back to the way it should be. And everything's fine for him. But since, Sonic is able to do it as well, when he tries to set it all right, the universe literally shatters. And this is basically the big point where everything that you knew before the comics no longer matters because everything got rewritten in this new universe.
If you guys have been keeping up with us for the last decade or so on our comics, screw you guys. We're starting over.
Exactly. It's like all those plot points you loved is now meaningless because the universe literally got shattered.
You're welcome.
I know. It's and so pretty much before the comic series ended, if you could just start from the Worlds Collide comic and you would be fine. So instead of having to read all the previous 200 and something issues.
Meanwhile, Mega Man goes on with their stories.
Exactly. And then Sonic's, it's you follow Sonic's as he gets used to this new world, and you're and some things are better, some things are not. And
some things are worse.
And I didn't necessarily mind the world thing. I just hate the fact that you have all those unanswered questions and mysteries from the old series that you'll never know the answer to now because they're irrelevant.
Because who cares?
Exactly. So outside of that part of the Worlds Collide comic, I loved the whole crossover thing. I thought it was excellent. It was fun to get to see. It was great seeing Mega Man and Sonic work together.
Would you want a game of that?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the second Worlds Collide things that they do later on in the series right before the comics were canceled isn't nearly as good as this first one.
But was it a good climax for that particular Sonic run?
I think so.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
The first Worlds Collide or second one?
The one you just talked about.
The ones I just talked about? I would give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay. Is that the end of the story? Or do you have more?
No, that's pretty much it. Yeah, pretty much after the universe shattering for Sonic.
I would presume so. It's just like,
Yeah,
how can you go
it's
out
like,
of the same story?
They split back off into their own worlds after that.
See you next crossover.
Yeah, pretty much. Although neither of them, well, Mega Man has no idea what happened because everything was returned to normal. Sonic has some idea because he, basically is one of the. He and Eggman are the only ones that are really aware of the previous universe. At first, that is. Sonic manages to get most of his friends to kind of remember the previous world, but that's about it.
Okay.
Just like the core group, but everyone else has no idea that there was a previous world at all.
Okay. So anything else you want to say about this comic book or anything? Because I got nothing.
We go.